I'm no longer sure which version of me is the real one. The one on a work call, careful, articulate. The one talking to someone I like, softer, casual. Or the one saying, "Aww, look at you," to my dog. And everyone keeps saying, just be yourself. Should have been easy. It's your body, your thoughts, your voice. It's you. But then you see it. You don't sound the same everywhere. The moment you try to switch back, someone says, "Are you okay? You sound a bit off." And suddenly, you don't know which version you're supposed to be. I think this is the moment when it starts. That small decision you make without even thinking. A gentle shift of your voice when the situation changes. You start tweaking yourself. For me, it shows up when I'm writing. Sometimes I worry that things I say sound obvious. Like recently, I said out loud that the snow is a bit, white. I mean, of course. But I forgot to add that my dog would probably prefer it yellow. Maybe someone has already said what I'm thinking. Maybe even using the same words in books, articles on Substack, and other videos on YouTube. But what if the things that feel obvious to me are obvious because I've lived them for years? Maybe they're simple because I've rehearsed them internally or externally when talking to myself and walking around my apartment. Maybe what feels trivial to me is new to someone else. And yet, I assume everyone already knows. So, I'm changing these words to hide it. I try to sound smarter. I may even portray myself as an old lady raising a pinky finger when holding a teacup. I know. My voice becomes more complex. A bit official, like slightly British, for no apparent reason, I guess. It's ironic, because if I don't sound familiar, I may miss the thing I want to share. I should wander in the obvious neighborhood, you know? Otherwise, my message could end up misunderstood completely. I think somewhere along the way, I'll learn that complexity sounds, credible. I don't want to sound like a teacher in a blazer, but, the judging voice in my head says, "It's the right way," or something like that. And the more I polish my words, the less I recognize the voice that started the sentence. And I don't think this only happens with words. It happens in friendships, in meetings, on first dates. We make these tiny shifts, then we adjust again. It's like we mirror whoever's in front of us. And somehow, this becomes so intuitive. We don't lose it. We shift and shift and shift until the new version feels more stable than the original voice. Just be yourself is out of the picture. But maybe the problem isn't that we're adapting to new people, new situations, new circumstances. Maybe it's why we change. Maybe we're not adjusting to connect, but rather we're adjusting to protect, like to protect ourselves. And that's, I guess, not necessarily a bad thing. Recently, I've been talking to camera quite a lot. It's become this strange kind of friend. It doesn't say much, mostly some static noise. And, this click, clack, clock, the camera sounds basically, right? Anyway, I notice my voice changes the second it turns on, like literally seconds. I sweat, my throat gets dry, I blink more. And like when watching that romantic comedy and pretending I'm not emotional, my heart is screaming, adapt, adjust, do something. But then I take a deep breath and do a dry run. Random takes that will never see daylight. Because I want to touch this feeling. I don't want to run away. Not because I want to sound better, but because I want to feel that shift. Again, I don't want to run from it. Maybe this whole thing shouldn't be that surprising. We live in strange times. Everyone is building some version of themselves online. We carefully craft our bios, we pick hobbies that sound interesting. We make sure we say that we travel. We take hundreds of photos for that perfect jawline in our profile picture. We spend far more time on our captions than people used to spend drafting constitutions. In short, we're constantly asking, how does it come across? Is it professional enough? Or maybe edgy enough? Does it polarize? Am I attracting the right people? Tell me, do I look like I've been working out? So it's natural that we start doing it offline too. It's not like we're drawing the line and customizing ourselves online. Psst, there was never any line. At some point, we started believing that competence has a specific tone, that sounding smart requires carefully selected words, that our posture makes us confident or not trustworthy, and somewhere along the way, our authentic self became just another thing to optimize. Maybe you felt that too. Just be yourself. I've heard that so many times. Speak the same way in every situation. Write how you talk. Don't look at the camera, pretend it's not there, or explain it like you would to a 5-year-old. But maybe you don't need a fixed version of yourself. Maybe you're allowed to wander between a few slightly different voices. Maybe authenticity isn't about tone. Maybe it's about intention. When you're sharing something you actually believe in, something you've tried, something you've lived, your voice is already yours. Even if it shifts, even if it becomes slightly British at a distinguished tea party. The real version of you isn't one sound. It's the one that stays when you stop trying so hard. And I guess when you're no longer afraid of it.